Welcome to the Besties in the Books podcast, guys. I'm Liz.
And I'm Ashley. And this video and podcast and talking session, we will be doing our little deep dive into the book Quicksilver by Callie Hart, which is a little bit of a follow-up episode to our interview with Callie Hart. So if you haven't checked that interview video out yet, podcast, whatever you want to call it, definitely go check that out. We'll have it all linked in the description boxes wherever you are listening or watching, YouTube, wherever. That's why it feels weird to say it, because you can watch it or you can listen to it. So whatever you want to do, it's there. But then my words get jumbled because it's jumbling. It's a jumble situation.
If you want to hang out with us and talk about Quicksilver with Callie Hart, come check it out. If you want to hang out with us and talk about Quicksilver not with Callie Hart, hang out with us right now.
Yeah, there you go. You have so many options, you know? We just like to lay it all out for you. So that was a super fun episode, though. Really cool to interview and get like some of the behind the scenes. And that one is a spoiler-free episode with Callie Hart. So if you want to like know a lot about Quicksilver without it being a spoiler way, like the how she came up with ideas and everything, and then some little teasers for book 2 that still aren't spoilery. Yeah. You can kind of get some of that.
It's a good balance. Like if you're curious about like the author process in general, or if you're like thinking, oh, Quicksilver's been getting a lot of buzz, like, do I want to listen or, read it? Like, what do I want to do? Then it's good to just kind of like, it gives you, it's not surface level, like interview wise, but it's surface level plot wise. That way you can find out a little bit more about it. Yeah.
Because we still dive into the characters without going into like what they mean to each other, like too deeply, Yeah.
So this is our, if you guys have been around for a little while, or if you're new here, I'll just kind of explain. So when we do an author interview, we like you guys to be able to ruminate on that. And then we like to also do our deep dive episode about that book. So you guys can get our more in-depth take on it. And so that's what we'll be doing today. And so, we've been kind of giving you guys a little bit more of like a reaction style deep dive video where, like at the beginning, so before we get into spoilers, we'll tell you, don't worry about it. We'll give you our basic star and spice rating and who we would recommend it for. That way you guys can kind of find that out. And then you can either, save this episode to listen to later if you don't want any spoilers for the rest of the book. Or if you are ready for all the spoilers, then we'll get into it. We'll talk about our favorite tropes, maybe some tropes we didn't like, characters we loved, ones we didn't love so much, etc. And if that interests you, then go ahead and stick around. But before we get to that, we just want to say thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here and for checking out this little deep dive video. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you like to listen to your favorite podcast. Like I was mentioning at the beginning, you can watch the podcast and listen at the same time on YouTube, or you could just pop us in your ear and then listen anywhere you like to listen to your favorite podcast. And that's at Besties in the Books podcast. You can also get some extended content on Instagram and TikTok at Besties in the Books podcast. And while you're at it, go over to Fable. That's a little book club app, and we have a lot of reads going on there because we are reading Hunger Games because, the new one's coming out. So follow us. If you just search Besties in the Book Club, it'll pop up right there for you. So if you want a buddy to read with,
of the books,
we're there. Or if you want to just lurk comments, you could do that.
That's fine too. Yeah. Just find out what we thought about your favorite books. Because we also have all of your guys' favorites are on there. So ACOTAR, the Crescent Cities, the Throne of Glass. Like, if you guys want to go see what we thought about those are all on there too. So enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy. I was going to say Empyrean. Those are on there.
We didn't do Onyx Storm, though. I'm just now realizing.
No, we didn't. But we did the first two.
That was, but there's an episode out if you need to know our feelings. Last week, I think, is when it would have gone up for you guys listening. So check out that if you want to hear some unpopular opinions.
If you want to be mad at us. No,
if you want to be mad at us, if you loved it, or if you want some validation, if you didn't love it. How about that?
So should we get into a quick Fav and Fail of this week?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do a little Fav and Fail. Let's
you
lay it all out
first,
there. This is like, I hope this is like a therapy session for other people in a way, because it is for me, and I think it is for you too.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, well, it's funny because I feel like anytime anything actually stressful happens in my life, I voice memo you about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ashley and I now have a thing where we just voice memo. It's like, what was I calling it? Morning talks? What was I calling it?
Something
I'm
like that,
blanking.
yeah. I need you to sing it, so I'm trying not to.
No, it was like, I know, because I'm trying to remember what I called it, because it had a more catchy name than morning talks.
Morning
But now
chats.
it's like morning chats. It was like morning chats with Liz and Ashley. And then I just like, we voice memo each other when we're on our way to work, or whatever. So that's what we've been doing. So I feel like I always just let you know if there's something crazy happening in my life. So that usually doesn't make it onto the faves and fails, because that's like a way too deep dive into the personal stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's still a way for me to be able to like tell you guys what I'm excited about, or,
Yeah. A decompression time, I guess.
Decompression time. Yeah, morning. That is not what I was calling. I wasn't calling it morning talks. Guys, it's going to come to me, and then I'm just going to yell it out
Sounds
somewhere
good.
in the
Sing
middle
it.
of the
You have to
episode.
sing it. That's
Okay,
the only way we'll allow it.
Well, yeah, because it's like it's our little jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. Feel free to
It's
voice
great.
memo us your guys' DMs.
Yeah, no, totally. Always. I mean,
I just had a crow run into my windshield. Like,
tell
love to
us
hear
about it. Yeah, oh my god, that would actually be a really funny episode if you guys like sent in like a kind of Dear Abby like advice thing, like maybe like book related, tangentially book related, and then we had to like answer them. That's morning talks with Liz and Ashley. That's not what it's called, but if you guys have a good suggestion for the title, let us know.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I don't know. What feels good to you? What feels right?
I'll just go first. It's
Okay.
fine. Okay, so my faves of this week. So I kind of hit a couple fun milestones over at the Real Life Vegan Wife. Mm-hmm. So technically it's in 2 days, but I have my 2-year Bookstaversary happening on the 12th of February, which is crazy that like the last 2 years has basically led us here.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Whoa.
basically, like, when my business coach was like, start the Bookstagram, and I was like, no, I don't want to. And she was like, do it. And I did, and now here we are. And so my 2-year Bookstaversary, which is super exciting. Thank you for being here with us. That's super fun. And then this is, I mean, it's a fave, but like it's not my personal fave. I just feel like I want to announce it. So I did find out for sure that Eureka Books is going to be doing a midnight release party for Sunrise on the Reaping.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah, so any of the locals who might be listening right now, mark it off on your calendars. I want to say it starts at like 11:30 and goes to like 1:30 or whatever on release day. So super exciting. I will be there. It will get me out of the house after like 7 p.m. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I will be very tired. Maybe I'll drink a cold brew on my way over or something like that to keep me up. But I'm stoked. It's going to be a fun time. Yeah.
Yeah. Wish I could be there. That's a little bit of a commute for me.
Me too. But yeah, someday.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
So those were my faves of the week. Oh, you know what? I have one more that I just want to give a shout out to. So I want to give a shout out to Willow Prescott. She is a dark romance author who has sent me some books in PR in the past. So she wrote Breakaway and Hideaway. But what I really wanted to shout her out for, because I haven't been able to read those yet, but I did read her novella called Shades of Red. And it was so good, guys. It was like 200 pages, dark romance, like a little sprinkle of like horror in there.
Yeah.
So there's one scene that's particularly gory. If that's not your thing, like I get it, but read the trigger warnings, whatever. But amazingly good, 5 stars easily, 5 stars easily. And I'd say I think I rated it like a 4 spice and a 5 star. So guys, it's great. Go check it out. You could read it in one sitting. Shades of Red by Willow Prescott. And then I immediately, as soon as I have time, I want to read her other duology, the Breakaway and Hideaway books, because now I'm pumped on it.
Nice. Awesome.
So I want to make sure to give her a little shout out. And then my fail of the week. Okay, this is it. This is all I have. I cannot concentrate on anything or remember anything or have any attention span for anything because all I want to do is read The Hunger Games.
Yeah, truly.
That's it.
Yep.
Is it a fail? Not really, because I'm reading The Hunger Games, but hey.
Yeah. I feel you on that one.
Yep. And I'm
all
like,
other books, like right now, they don't stack up.
yeah, I'm listening. Luckily, I'm listening to good audio. I am listening to the Darkly Madly duet by Trisha Wolfe, and it's amazing. So
Yeah.
I love her. But yeah, as far as like reading, or everyday activities, like I just cannot focus. I'm halfway through Mockingjay. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I'm at, guys. If you've read The Hunger Games, you know, like we're in the final stretch now. Things are getting crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my fail, is that life has ceased to exist so that The Hunger Games can be my only thing that I'm doing.
Yeah. Seriously.
So what about you?
So my fave is that last weekend, my husband and I did like a staycation. If anybody remembers the protests that we were woken to at a hotel at 6 o'clock in the morning with drums and like whatever that the hotel had known about that was happening for 2 months prior and they didn't tell us about it. Terrifying moment. Anyways, that hotel had given us, gift cards or whatever you want to call it to come back. So we used that as a staycation for my birthday / anniversary. And my favorite part of that weekend was that they also, because they're trying to like schmooze us because they feel bad now that happened, they gave us champagne and chocolate covered strawberries. And so what did we do? We ate that in bed and we watched Twisters. And that is like my favorite. I could watch like freaking the paid programming, infomercials for all I care, as long as I'm eating in bed at a hotel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just like, that's top tier for me. And I was just like, I told Jeff, I'm so happy right now. Like, I love this. It's my favorite thing. So good. Yeah. So that was my fave of the week.
Love it.
And then, which we get to do soon too. We're going to go to a hotel. We're going to order all the things and eat it in bed because it's not something that we usually do at home. So, And it also is very nostalgic, too. I just love it. And my fail of the week, I'm going to probably go with yesterday when I was voice memoing Liz stuff.
That was so funny. So funny.
And I accidentally drove off into the sunset. And then I was like, wait. I was just supposed to be dropping the dog off at daycare because we were hosting Super Bowl this year. And she loves doggy daycare. And I'm just like, I'm 2 miles in a odd direction. Not like I was on my way and then I just went on the freeway and was just going. And I'm voice memoing her and I'm like, hands free, don't worry. I don't believe in texting and driving and all that. So I just do voice memo and then I just let it ride, Jeff gets annoyed because he's like, why don't you just talk on the phone? It's like, you don't get it.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's like, first of all, most of the time my kids are with me. They weren't with me, but like, I got kids interrupting me and you have life going on. We just have to be able to respond when we can respond, when we have a minute to ourselves. So I'm just voice memoing and talking on and on and on. And I'm like, oh shit, where am I going?
Well, the way she said it, she's like, Liz, like that always cracks me up when she stops and just says Liz. Cause I'm like, what does that mean? Liz, where am I going? I'm like, what? She's like, I don't know where I am. I just kept on driving. I was cracking up. Oh my God.
Muscle memory took over. And I have made that drive like recently, like a few times. Cause it's like the way to my sister's house. And it was where I went the night before when I met up with some friends. And so muscle memory just took the wheel.
That was funny. That was super funny.
So that would be a fail. I didn't get too far, but I wonder where, like, if I didn't notice in that moment, I honestly wonder where else would I have noticed? I don't know.
Where would I have ended up?
I had to have noticed at one point, but like, how far could I have gotten?
50 miles later, you're like, wait, what am I doing? Where am I?
Like, in my muscle memory, like, where, because there's multiple destinations I could get to.
Yeah.
Like, would I have ended up at my sister's? Would I have ended up at some random restaurant that I went? Like, where was this leading me?
I love it. That's so funny.
But I figured it out. I was only like 2 miles away from my destination.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, I'm on a freeway. Yeah. So it was like, it added like 5 more minutes to my journey. But alas, that was a funny. And our fails, we do like to keep funny. So,
Yeah.
So I just
we're not here to just talk about all the depressing things in the world.
Yeah. Obviously, we have fails in our life that are depressing, but we try not to go there.
Yeah, we'll leave those for the Dear Abby episode. We just submit our
own
quote unquote anonymous things and then just talk about them on the podcast.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay. So, all right, let's give our spoiler-free, just like one sentence review, star, and spice rating for Quicksilver by Callie Hart.
Okay.
Okay.
You go first.
So my one sentence review would be, I loved this book from the very first page. It's action-packed. The magic system is super interesting. The characters are amazing. And the audiobook was like one of the best ones of all time. 5 stars. And I gave it, I want to say a 3 spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could go 2 or 3 in my opinion as far as spice goes.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
I think I gave it a 3 because it was like not necessarily frequency, but more like intensity / like build up to it.
Yeah.
Was good, you know?
Yeah. I would say if you're looking for something to compare it to spice wise, feels like maybe Court of Mist and Fury, Wings and Ruin amount of spice. So not Silver's Flame spice. You don't think so?
I personally would have said it's closer to Silver Flames for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I don't remember that well. Great. Trust my sources.
I just read Silver Flame. So yeah, I would say that it was like more close to that for me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not in frequency necessarily, but
true.
in intensity.
And
if you were to compare Kingfisher, this is not spoilery in, I think, a bad way. If you were to compare Kingfisher to Cassian, Kingfisher is a much more explicit talker. So I feel like that also kind of like amped it up a little bit too.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll leave, Liz is my spice girl, so she knows best, so let's go with 3 spice. My rating, 5 stars, and I had such a great time. I loved it. It's a book that I still think about, and I loved the world building and how things were interwoven, and the characters are great. 10 out of 10. Well, 5 out of 5.
Some nice twists too,
Yes, I love that, which we'll talk a little bit more about here in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
So, all right. So, spoiler time.
I'm a butterfly.
I'm a butterfly. I was like, are you a bird? I don't know what's happening right now.
I mean, butterflies they make no sound, so I had to give you guys a little sound.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, that means spoilers are coming. I usually make a jarring sound, but I think the fact that it wasn't a jarring sound for the more frequent listeners is what's jarring about it.
Yeah.
Because you had to just really like stop what you're doing and listen. Like, what is that weird sound that Ashley's doing? and then I did the visuals for YouTube is the Napoleon Dynamite. Although I do think it's a bird, but I'm going with butterfly.
Hands. Yeah.
This is really relaxing to do. This is a yoga move.
I can't really do it in my area without knocking something down. I'll try it
later. Someone out there's trying it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it is kind of,
It is nice. Yeah, takes us back to that moment with Napoleon in the classroom doing interpretive dances. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Good
All
time.
roads lead back to Napoleon Dynamite.
It's true. It's really true.
Yeah.
Did anyone else's AP history teacher, make them watch Napoleon Dynamite repeatedly, or was that just us?
Loved every minute. Loved every rewatch.
Minute. Yeah. So good. So, yeah, because just for anyone who doesn't know, Kingfisher does call Ceres OSHA, which is like short for a type of butterfly that they have.
Yeah,
there,
which if you were confused like I was on the cover with butterflies, there you go.
There you go. Mm-hmm. That's why there's butterflies everywhere. Anytime you see Quicksilver stuff, merch or whatever. So, okay, let's just get right into it then. So I wrote a 5-sentence summary for this.
This feels very gong-y, so I'm going to use the gong today. Okay. Although I should do the triangle because it is silver, but alas.
I feel like for some reason, on Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where he does like the sounds for like all the like crime shows, and he does the like Seinfeld like little jingle or whatever. I feel like I want you to have like a mini keyboard and like do that for me someday.
Mm-hmm. Might need to get one of those cool mini ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So anyway, this was really hard for me. It was so hard. I feel like a lot happens in this book. This was one of those like 5-sentence summaries where I was like, I have to only pick like what's completely vital to the plot, because everything, even though there's so many things that are vital to the plot, because of the fact that it's like all the twists and turns and like everything would just make it impossible to like write a 5-sentence summary. Yeah. So here we are. I did the best I could. Here we go. Quicksilver in 5 sentences or less. Sarah Spain and her younger brother live as peasants and pickpockets in the 3rd Ward in the city of Zilverin under the tyrannical rule of an undying evil human queen. But Sarah has many skills as a fighter she honed when training with the rebellion that killed her parents, so she manages to keep them alive by stealing and working in a blacksmith shop.
1.
Okay.
Good job.
Sarah steals a gauntlet from one of the queen's guards and ends up being taken to the castle to be executed for her transgression. But in an attempt to defend herself, melts metal and releases an ancient sword from its resting place, which opens a portal through the Quicksilver that Kingfisher, a super powerful fae, who we find out later is her mate, comes through to save her.
2.
Saris is taken to Evalia, the magical fae world of legends, where she meets King Bellicon, Everlane, Renfis, and Lorinth, among others, and discovers she is an alchemist, someone who can manipulate metals and imbue them with magic, like the Quicksilver, who can help the fae win their war against their tyrannical government by learning how to control the Quicksilver and use it to their advantage. 3. Kingfisher binds Saris in an agreement to ensure she helps them win the war in exchange for him retrieving her brother from Zilverin. He returns with her old hookup buddy and con man Carrion instead, who happens to be quite helpful because it turns out he's actually been a 1,000-year-old fae trapped in the human realm the entire time.
Yeah, that was awesome.
4. Okay, here we go. This is a crazy one. So I just called them the inner circle because I didn't know, for lack of a better term, of what to call the main people. Okay.
Yeah.
So the inner circle trains Saris and helps her work with the Quicksilver, which she is learning to communicate with, but she truly holds her own, battling the vampires who take Everlane. During the final battle, when they rescue Everlane, we find out that Madra, Bellicon, and the Vampire King Malcolm are all working together. They trap them in the labyrinth that Kingfisher was in for 55 years, but Saris is able to find the Quicksilver coin to release the curse and get them out, and kills Malcolm in the process, but not before being mortally injured, requiring her to be turned into a vampire to survive, technically turning her into the new vampire queen.
5. I did not know how you were going to wrap that up. Good job on that, especially on that last sentence there. Way to do it.
There was a lot of like dashes and like semicolons. So hey.
Yeah. Yep, there you go.
But that's what I'm saying. It was so crazy. There were so many things. I couldn't even really explain, like, you know, the whole issue with, like, the deal that he made with Malcolm and the magical coin and all that. Because it's like that would have taken up the whole 5 sentences within itself.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And their whole love story, too.
Yeah. Well, we know. That's why I included the mates thing, because I was like, okay, then it's implied that they've got something going on during the whole time, you know?
Yeah. Good job. Good job, dude. Oof. Everybody give a round of applause. Good job, Liz.
Thank you.
Every time you think you can't do it, you go ahead and you do it.
So,
you totally redeem yourself.
So what were your favorite 3 tropes of Quicksilver?
Badass, empowered FMC. Okay. Not a little whiny girl that needs help, you know?
Yeah.
She was great.
She was awesome.
Fated mates, but with a twist. I liked Callie Hart's twist on Fated Mates and what the intervening that was happening with the fates. Loved that. And of course, unexpected twists, because there was a lot of them at the end.
Yeah.
From like the middle to the end, I felt like we started getting twists. So that was great. Yeah. Love that. What about you?
Okay, so I can't be stopped. Like, this is the thing. I cannot be stopped. Enemies to lovers is always going to be on my list. I can't, like, it's not that I don't want to like it as much as I do, because obviously I love it. But it's like, how does it hit that good every time? Yeah. I don't know.
It does.
I don't know, but it does. I can't be stopped. Okay, so enemies to lovers. I put twists and hidden identity. So that's kind of like in one thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I did not see the twist with Carry On coming.
Yeah.
At all. At all. Like literally not at all.
Love that.
That was amazing. It was great. And then I included Found Family because I truly love that we have so many good characters. That was something that I noticed really early on, that I was like, oh, I really like this character. Oh, I really find that character interesting, to the point where like we're only one book in and I already want to know their stories too. And that is special, I feel like, because that doesn't happen with very many books.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
for sure.
What about a trope you didn't like?
This was hard for me to figure out, but I think I finally found one that bothers me in any book that does this. And it's like the FMC having to, or any character, having to protect an adult idiot family member. So in this case, brother. It happened with A Fate Inked in Blood, like many, many ones. So that kind of trope, whatever that is, like protecting asshole family or just like idiot family members. He's not even an asshole yet, but like just an idiot, you know, at all costs, like even to her own detriment. I think he was an adult. I'm pretty sure he was. Like, old enough.
And in life and death situations. I think that's the other thing. It's not like he's just, you know, doop-a-doop, no big deal. It's like, no, like literally we're living under this tyrannical government that'll literally come and just kill you in the town square, like at any given point in time. And you're just like messing around, you know? Come on.
Obviously, that was vital to a lot of plot points in this book.
Yeah.
So it was a tool, you know, to carry the story on. And it made for a great setup with Carry On being brought over. So I'll allow it this time.
True.
Usually it doesn't get a pass, though. So what was your least favorite trope?
I literally put laugh out loud next to mine because the only one I could think of was Faye being sneaky and trapping people in agreements.
Oh, you don't like that?
Not really.
I love it for some reason because it feels old school, I think.
I feel like it's like I don't want to say it's a full cop-out, but sometimes it feels like a cop-out to me. Yeah, that like the author uses to like keep the story moving, because otherwise the main character might not agree with where they want the plot to go, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like kind of almost like an easy way to get them to comply. And that bothers me, because I feel like sometimes it would be nice to have a different, not just like a magical, you're under a spell, so you have to do what I say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that being said, I loved this book, so oh well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like I'm willing to overlook it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what about a micro trope that you noticed, whether you liked it or disliked it or whatever?
Microtropes are always kind of tricky sometimes. Always sometimes. So I'm going to go with tattoos, and the way that she did that with the tattoos moving, like, and forming while things were happening with the fated mates. So she took that fated mate tattoo idea that's in lots of books, and she put her own twist on it. And I liked that. Cool.
Yeah,
stuff.
It was great. I liked it too. It was cool. My micro trope that I love is swords imbued with magic.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
We all love a good sword, you know?
Yeah, of course, obviously.
But it's like these specifically are like imbued with magic. I don't know. They have special powers. Swords with powers. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah, it's freaking cool.
That's extra cool.
We're fantasy readers. We love swords imbued with power.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, can they transport you to another realm through a portal? Even freaking better, you know?
Like a DeLorean of swords.
It's awesome. So, yeah, that was definitely like my micro trope. And normally I have a hard time with those too, where I'm like, I don't know. But that one came to me immediately. I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Great. Love it.
So, okay. Quicksilver's been getting like a lot of hype.
Yeah.
A lot of hype. Like when I was reading reviews, because we'll share some reviews just from the masses later. A lot of the reviews that I was reading that were negative were talking about how this book is so hyped, and like basically it's the same old at this point, right? Like I'm done trusting BookTok Rex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, okay, so obviously, you know, as we found out in the interview with Callie, she said that when the book originally came out, it wasn't that popular.
Yeah.
It took a while to gain traction, specifically on BookTok, and then kind of explode. So now it's popular. Do you understand why? Do you feel like it deserves to be?
Yes. I mean, yeah, it's hard because we have a bias now. Why we understand I totally understand why it's popular. I mean, she was an indie author for this book. She had some traditional publishing before. For this fantasy, she went indie, and it wasn't going. And she handpicked like who she was sending it to. And that's a risk for any, anybody self-publishing or even PR agencies to send it, because people read it or they don't, and they read it and they loved it and it blew up. So, I get why it's popular too, because I love it. So it had all the things we love. So of course it's going to be good.
Yeah. So that was kind of it. I feel like it's one of those classic cases of the reason why some people love it is the same reason why some people hate it.
Totally.
So, like, I think for us, it's like, it checks all the boxes, right? It's like, we've got the, enemies to lovers thing. We've got the found family. We have essentially, I mean, you could say chosen one or whatever you feel like saying, badass FMC, a broody and kind of rude, mean, grumpy MMC who's 1,000+ years old and probably like 6'7" or something crazy like that. I don't remember exactly how tall he is. It has all the things that like we want in a romantasy book. So I feel like for some people that can seem too contrived. Like, I'm going to include every single trope that people love and like cram it into this book.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, it's a win. I'm like,
it's a win. And I feel like in romantasy, there's only so many different things. There's always going to be different books to compare it to, I feel. And I felt like this story was so different than anything I've read yet, even though it had the same themes and tropes in it, It was fun. It's a fun time. I don't take some things that I can't take too seriously. It's a good time,
Yeah. It was super entertaining. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yes, popular it is. I would say that we both understand and agree with why it's popular at this point. Yeah. Because if you're a romantasy reader and you consistently enjoy those kinds of stories, you'd probably like this.
Yeah.
I think.
For sure.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly. So, what was your favorite part?
I loved when we found out that the fates were manipulating their fated mate's fate, to try to avoid them being together. I forget which god it was, like the god of chaos, right? He intervened, right? Or he was the one that was like, something bad's going to happen. She went like into meet him somehow. I don't remember now. Like, it was crazy. Yeah. It was a crazy scene, And so basically found out that the fates tried to stop them from meeting, made her become born human, because they couldn't stop her from being born or becoming. And so then hopefully that would separate them enough, but they still found a way. Life finds a way. Life
finds a way.
All goes back to Jeff Goldblum. So that was super cool to read about. And then also the labyrinth stuff. I hate that shit.
Yeah, the labyrinth thing was cool.
Yeah.
He was in there for 55 years. I re-looked that up because I was like, how long was he in there? Literally, that's so long. Yeah. I know in like Fae years it's not as long, but like, come on.
Dog years. Yeah. Still a long time. Yeah.
Well, now I feel so shallow with my favorite part of this book.
Oh, no, it's okay. We all like different stuff. What's your favorite part, Liz? Tell us.
Kingfisher's dirty mouth.
Good for you. Good
for me. Yeah. I mean, it was a treat for all.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the other episode, but just listen to the audiobook.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
But no, really, I feel like sometimes, like, we read a lot of romantasy. I read a lot of dark romance, and that can really make or break a character.
Yeah.
Like 100%. If the things flying out of his mouth during the like bedroom scenes are corny.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. It kills it, and it can make me get the ick, like, for him in general.
Yeah. For sure.
So I would say, like, expertly written and just a prime example of, like, do we like men or just men written by women?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
But yeah, that was definitely my favorite part. What was your least favorite part?
Kind of like that part in the beginning when she first enters, like, the royal world and they're kind of trying to refine her a little bit into royalty. I was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Just like that part was to whatever to me.
Yeah, like I could see the point in it. It's like, you know, we always have that like that time in any romantasy book, right? Where it's like they have to acclimate into whatever this new reality they have is. But yeah.
I mean, and it's a way to world build too, but I was like, that's if I have to pick something in a 5-star read that I don't like, technically I didn't love that part, but it doesn't last that long. What about you?
So, okay. This is something that I wanted to talk about on here with you specifically because I'm like, did I not understand this right? I think maybe I was confused and that is why I didn't like this part, but maybe not. Okay. So at the end, obviously, she's like on death's door and Kingfisher is going to take like a part of his like soul out and like give it to her to save her like he did with, what's the guy's name?
Ren.
I can't remember.
Was it Renfist he did that with or a different person? It was a different guy.
I thought it was the other guy.
It was the other guy. I don't remember his name right now.
Lorith.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so whatever. So she was like, no, don't do that because then also it ties your life to his life. So they like both, like, it's something like if he dies first, he has to like linger on Earth for hundreds of years. I don't know.
Until they die.
Yeah. Until they die or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, she's like, yeah, don't do that. It's not worth it. And he was like, gonna do it. But then what's his name sneaks over, I can't remember his name, Teladius, so like the vampire guy, and he's like, okay, well, I'll just turn her into a vampire and save her, and then that's how she ends up getting saved. She ends up getting turned, so she's like half fae and half vampire. Okay. What I didn't like about that is like I didn't really understand Teladius's character. Like I thought he was a bad guy. So like I thought he was like Malcolm's henchman or like Malcolm's friend. Why is he like offering to save her life?
That was unclear to me. On the inside the whole time.
That's what was going on. Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought.
Really quickly blurbed in there, like within a paragraph, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd been working for him. He would be working, you know, both sides, but not wanting he's been feeding him information and like helping Kingfisher. Okay. So he was ready to step in. That's why it was kind of like a gray area, like, ooh, you want to trust this guy? And he's like, yes, it's fine. And I think technically he would be next in line after Malcolm. So that's why, or something. I don't remember why. Why is she going to be queen? Now I forgot.
Because in vampire culture, and I could be making this up. No, I don't think I am, though. In vampire culture, I think it's like who kills you. Like if someone kills you, like then they can take your place.
Okay, yeah, and she killed him. And then became vampire, so yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the train of thought. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's it. Okay, that I needed to clear that up because that bothered me because it wasn't very super clear and I was confused. I was like, wait, did he turn her for some other like ulterior motive with like nefarious, you know, like undertones? Or did he turn her just because he was actually a good guy, but that was just a little unclear?
Yeah. I mean, double agent, so it could be semi-ambiguous. Either way. You know, it could be still, like, not 100% trust, but as far as I read it as double agent, where, like, he could win on either side wins. He still wins, you know?
Yeah.
Almost kind of reminded me of that one character. Well, that guy's definitely bad. But in the Ashes in the Starcursed King with the cigarette. He reminded me of that. I forget his name.
I don't remember.
This is important.
I don't remember.
It's okay. Moving on. Okay, so Liz, tell the audience who your favorite character was.
I mean, I loved so many characters in this. Like, I feel like it would be totally, like, I mean, obviously, I love Kingfisher. So I'm going to pick a different character because I feel like that's too predictable. So, like, the way that I have the biggest freaking crush on Renfist... Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. He has the best accent in the audiobook, and I totally, like, I mean, I don't want to say, like, Kingfisher who, when, like, Renfist comes on, but, like, Kingfisher who, you know, and then I, like, remember. So, so, like, I love both of them. They're great. I obviously love Saris as well. I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite character in this book because there's so many really, really good ones. But yeah, I would say if I have to pick one that's not a main character, it would be Renfist.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm going to say, because it's not predictable for me, because I rarely pick the MMC, I loved Kingfisher. I thought he was a great character. Super interesting and fun. Yeah. I think we're going to get to know a lot more about all the characters in the next one, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Get to know them pretty in depth, too. Yeah. No, you're not like a book boyfriend level for me. I only think I have 2 at this point. So, sorry.
Are we
Kingfisher.
still at Rhysand and why am I blanking
Vale.
on his name?
Val.
Vale from Six Horse Roses.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's my
Very
list.
loyal. Very loyal. I collect them just like I'm just going through life collecting them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I like how you're like, no, I've got my tried and true. It's like I have my top 2. You know what I mean? It's like Rowan, Hunt, like they have special place in my heart. But you know, we could add Kingfisher and Renfus into the mix.
Yeah.
Add 'em in.
Yeah. Throw them in. Throw the gang's all here. Let's go.
There's room for everybody.
Love it. That's good.
So, who did you dislike the most?
I thought it was going to be Carry On, obviously, because he was just
interesting.
annoying. But then he grew on me, and I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
great! This guy's hilarious." And then he ends up being the Long Live Faye or whatever, who was super vital to something. Shows you how much I remember. But I loved him, so he'd be up there in a favorite too, for sure.
Yeah.
And then so I would say, because obviously we know villains are supposed to be unlikable, but really nobody else was unlikable to me. Well, that one girl, I don't know. There was one girl in the mix. Maybe it's going to be yours, so I'll leave that for you. So I was trying to think, okay, out of the 3 villains, because there was 3, right? Which one was the worst? So I'm going to go with the stupid man king. Give me the ick. Give me King Henry vibes. There you go. Bellicon. Very King Henry the Fifth vibes. And he is the epitome of what is wrong with our world, our actual world. He is the embodiment of that. So I'm going to go with him. Because I loved Malcolm.
Yeah.
So too bad.
Yeah, Malcolm was, I feel like they all had their place, which I like, because I feel like we're going to see where that goes, because Bellicon and Madra just kind of ran away into the sunset at the end of the book, and so we don't really know what happened with them yet.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. My least favorite character was Danya, or Danya.
That's the girl in the inner circle group. Yeah.
Yeah, I just really disliked her, how freaking mean she was.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. And then when she gets her arm chopped off, I was like, well, you kind of had it coming. You know what I mean?
Jealous much. Ugh, stop.
I get it, your sword, but this was out of everyone's hands. You have to let it go.
Yeah.
Do what's good, good for everyone. It's too stubborn,
And he did
too
on
crazy.
accident. Yeah.
Yeah,
He didn't mean
exactly.
to.
Give Saris a chance. She's not doing anything bad to you. Almost she gave that jealous girl energy. She wants Kingfisher, but she doesn't though.
Yeah.
It's but that's how she acts. She's I wish Kingfisher was my boyfriend, but she doesn't actually want that. It's just really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. Super annoying.
So that's why I chose her as my least favorite character. Because we're obviously not supposed to like any of the villains. So that's why I chose her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you write down any notable quotes?
I did. Look at me.
Look at you go.
Wow. Okay. A quote that
right,
stood
let's
out
hear
to
it.
me. Kingfisher says, "Don't call her sunshine," he commanded. Carry On says, "Why not?" And then I'm going to blah, 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 because it's about descriptions of his head and face. Because she is moonlight, the mist that shrouds the mountains, the bite of electricity in the air before the storm, the smoke that rolls across a battlefield before the killing starts. You have no idea what she is, what she could be. You should call her Majesty.
Yeah, I literally have that ready to go right here.
There you go. There you go.
It's a good one,
That's a good
guys.
one.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. Was that going to be yours?
Well, I had 3.
Okay.
So that was a good one. So the other one, let's see here. So he's talking about when his mom had prophesized that Saris was going to come into his life. She said, "When I needed you most, you'd come blazing into my life like a meteorite, riding on a wave of chaos that would turn my whole world upside down, that you'd shine so brilliantly that you'd light up hell itself and guide me out of the darkness."
Ooh, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And then the other one that I like, this was just more of a fun, not really fun, but I don't know, kind of if I was getting ready to go into battle with my inner circle, this is what I want someone to say to me, And this was a quote that Renfus said. He said, "And if you should find soul sundered from flesh, order a drink for us at the first tavern you come across in the afterlife. We'll settle the tab when we get there."
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I was like, I like Renfus. He's a cool dude, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So those were my faves. I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot of good ones, but I feel like, you know, if I had to narrow them down, those were the ones that stuck out in my head. Obviously, the one that you just read, too. That was excellent.
Yeah. All right, Liz.
So,
you're our spice girl, okay? How was the spice? How was it?
Great.
Good.
10
That's
out of
settled.
10. Infinity stars. Infinity stars. You guys know, if you listen to the interview, you know, like, just everything about it. The audiobook was amazing. The spice was amazing. Not corny at all. Dual narration. And then, obviously, because I switched back and forth between the audio and the ebook. And the ebook, that was great, too.
Yeah.
I feel like the spice was just the perfect amount for a book one.
Yeah, totally.
I'd say for a book one, it was almost a little bit on the heavier side than in a lot of other romantasy series where it kind of takes longer to build up. So I liked that. I felt like it was good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No notes.
Yep. Same.
Yeah.
No notes to your notes.
So will you read sequels?
Of course. Obviously. Which comes
like,
out
no.
in November?
No.
So buckle up, guys.
It's on pre-order, I think. I think it's in my list of pre-orders.
Nice.
I'm so excited. I'm so freaking excited. I need to know more about their story. That's one of those ones that, like, you know, there's so many sequels that are coming out all the time that it's, like, almost hard for me to keep up. But, like, that would be one that I'll make sure to set aside and, like, plan to read it specifically.
Yeah.
So that won't be one of those ones where I'm like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it. No, it'll be like it's sitting there on my little TBR shelf that I have until I get around to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any reviews for us?
No, you lead the way.
Okay, so I pulled a couple high and a couple low just to kind of give you guys an idea of what, you know, people liked about it and disliked about it. So I got mine from Goodreads. Just to give you guys kind of an idea, right now there's about 279, almost 280,000 ratings. It gets an average of a 4.43 on Goodreads. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I like to pull from the extreme sides because I find them to be a bit more amusing.
Oh, for sure.
So we'll start with the low and we'll end on the high note. Okay, so Madeline on Goodreads, 1 star. Carry On made me laugh. That's why this gets a star. Which is true. I feel like, you know, if nothing else, Carry On would be entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
He's the comic relief, you know? Darian gives Quicksilver 2 stars. I feel like the author Googled fantasy romance and tried to just smash everything she came across into this book. Truly a jumbled mess.
Yeah.
Crying face.
When I was looking at Reddit, that is the overall theme that it was. Kind of like you talked about at the beginning, the trope. You either love it or you hate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought, you know, because I've definitely read books where I feel like all the romantasy tropes do seem to be like crammed into it and it does not feel organic to me. It seems very contrived and I don't like it. This was not that to me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everything just like flowed.
Yeah.
How it was supposed to.
Agreed.
You know?
Yeah.
So then we'll end on a high note. So Olivia gave Quicksilver 5 stars. This book was stunning, a work of written art with intricate twists and hidden depths. I slipped into it like Sarah slipped into the Quicksilver pool.
Oh, there you go.
Callie, where is the next book? I need more Carry On and Kingfisher and Lauren. And I was like, that is very accurate. We need more of them all.
Yes.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And then Bookish by Tammy. She gave it 5 stars. This is exactly what I want from fantasy romance. The fantasy elements were intriguing and ever-growing, a combination of fae and vampires, a combo I didn't know I needed in my life. The audiobook was sensational. I am definitely invested, and not once was I bored. So excited for book 2. I pulled that one specifically because I also thought that was interesting because it was like, wasn't the concept that like vampires were like a lesser evolved version of fae from like back in the olden days?
He was like, he made them, right? Like Malcolm like made the vampire people. Something weird, something crazy.
Yeah, but it was like, I liked the combination of like the vampires and the fae, but I'm pretty sure that it was like, and I could be totally making this up or mixing it with a different book or something, but I'm pretty sure that it was like the vampires were described as being kind of like the ancient version of fae.
Lesser
and
evolved.
I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's why they have like the elongated canines and all that.
Yeah.
I was like, that makes sense.
It's crazy.
So those were the reviews. So yeah, like I said before, it's either you loved all the tropes, all the romantasy tropes, because they're all of our favorites, or you were like, why are they all in this one book, and you didn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you have anything else that you want to say about this fantastic book we all love so much?
There is one thing I wanted to say. You know what
Okay.
I really liked about the book at the beginning? And I don't know if anybody else got that vibes. Please let me know if you did. Before she gets transported to the Fae realm, it felt very like Star Warsy, like a dusty.
Yes.
Thank you. We haven't talked about this. Like the dusty one. I don't remember what the names of, but like where Rey.
Yeah.
Is it Rey?
Yeah.
Where she's from,
Yeah,
and she gave me those vibes a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's badass.
I completely agree.
Awesome.
It's like that whole, like, she's a thief. Like, Rey's not a thief, but she's a scavenger. She goes around, collecting scrap metal all day long. Like, it was very, very similar, I feel like, too. And just, like, the dusty wasteland where water is, like, impossible to find.
Yeah. And they go to the bar. I mean, there's not, like, creatures there, but, like, that was cool. So I just felt like you get a little bit of that Star Wars planet element and then transported into like fantasy fae land. So you got like the best of everything.
So I agree. I totally got those vibes.
Curious if she explores that realm at all more in the next one. We'll see. Yeah.
I mean, something's got to happen with the human realm. Like while they're out there fighting their fae war, I would assume at some point we're going to find that out because her brother's still over there, right? Or at the end of the book?
I think
Isn't he still there?
I don't remember now. There's a lot. There was that metal wielder that people have a lot of conspiracies about. Some theories. Not conspiracies. Some guesses. The one that was helping her. The metal guy.
Oh, yeah.
That maybe he is like Carry On is. Like a hidden agent or whatever. So
interesting.
Curious to see if he gets brought over. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that, we'll have to go back over there just to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And, like, also, they're being obviously oppressed by Madra, who is in on it with the other people. So, like, that's why she's undying. It's like, literally, she has special powers. So, it's all going to come back around.
Yeah, for sure.
It has to.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to go over? Are you good? You feel good?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like between the interview and this, like, we really, like, hashed out just, if you love romantasy.
Yeah.
Just read this book, man.
Yeah.
Like, you'll enjoy it. It's a good old time.
Yeah.
I flew right through it. Oh, I do want to mention this, though, because I feel like we did not mention it on the interview podcast. There are Kingfisher bonus chapters on Callie's website.
Yeah.
So go read those. Mm-hmm. If you want some extra stuff.
A little treat.
A little treat. Yep.
Yep.
And they're just free to read on her website. Like, literally, you just click on the tab and they'll come up.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty cool.
Okay. So should we sign off with a smasher pass?
Let's do it.
All right.
I just thought of one for you. Okay. So, the movie Pinocchio.
Uh-huh.
Monstro the whale. Smasher pass. If you were a whale.
If I was a whale, I don't even remember what he looks like.
Doesn't matter.
It's been so long. Well, kind of. Like, what vibes does he give? Hold on. He just looks like a whale.
Whale.
I mean, does he even really have that big of a part in that movie? Doesn't he just, like, eat him temporarily?
Yeah. He's pretty angry. He's pretty aggressive. He's grumpy. He is grumpy. He's a grumpy
I'll
whale.
say if I was a whale, then sure. Because, like, I'd want a grumpy boyfriend.
Yeah, there you go.
He could be my grumpy boyfriend whale.
Yeah, I think you're overthinking it there for a second. Just go with your gut.
It's like all I remember from Pinocchio was that really, really disturbing one that came out in, like, the early 2000s where, like, Jonathan Taylor Thomas played Pinocchio.
I haven't seen that one.
Guys, the way that movie haunts me, like, I'm sure there's other people out there who are like, what the heck? But yeah, that's all I think of now when I think of Pinocchio. I don't even think I've seen the animated one in, like, I don't know, so long.
Yeah.
So I also had an animated smasher pass. Oh, what were you going to say? Pass?
Pass.
If you're a whale, pass
Too
if you're
grumpy.
a whale.
Too far. He's gone too far. Okay.
Yeah, he's eating.
Eating things blindly, just going. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Okay, so I feel like we may have done this one before, but not the same. Okay. But I had to know for the people and also for you. Okay, so you have to pick one.
Okay.
So if you had to smash one, would it be Lumiere or Cogsworth?
I think we've done this one.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just only a smash of Lumiere.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, dang. Lumiere.
You have to pick one.
Because I definitely said pass for Lumiere, but so if I had to pick between him and Cogsworth, yeah, okay, fine. Lumiere, smash.
Why? Give us a one-sentence explanation.
I don't know if it might be, I might be like, no, they're both bad when they turn into humans because everybody looks bad when they turn into humans.
Yeah, what's that about?
I don't know. Just something about the shape of the clock. I don't know. He's a little too neurotic. You know, he's not fun. Loosen up a little bit. And the candelabra is very loose. So
he's very loose.
I'm going to go with him.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's true. I would say the same thing. And the reason why I had you like verbalize it, because I think I was just trying to work through my own reasoning, because I also don't understand it. You know, typically like the French accent does not do it for me. Yeah. However, in the live action version, isn't that Ewan McGregor's voice?
Oh, yes, that helps. Yeah.
That helps. Yeah, because we know that Ewan McGregor's back there, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really figure it out either, but just given the two options, that's also who like I would pick.
The clock
maybe it's
has a tiny mustache, like a really skinny mustache.
Maybe
that really grosses me
part
out.
Of it. It's too hipstery. Yeah, maybe that's part of it. You know, it might also just be because I think that we know that Lumiere would be good in bed because he satisfies the feather duster.
Yeah, exactly. She's happy.
And she seems happy. So yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe we
Not only is she happy, she keeps coming back for more.
She does. So that must say something. You know, no one's coming around for Cogsworth.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Sorry, guy. Poor guy.
So we'll find out.
But
I think that I have an inkling that Lumiere will win, but
yeah,
maybe I'll demand an explanation from everyone who votes. Also put in the box why. We
like
need
if we
to
really
know.
want to like get deep on this here, like Cogsworth, rule follower, you only know there's going to be only one position ever for the rest of your life. So
missionary.
Yep.
Straight
up. Ever. So, you know, if you have to, and not that we have to make a full commitment with the smash or pass, but I'm just like really thinking about all the logistics here.
Just covering all the bases.
Do you want an awkward, weird situation or do you want just like a good time? Casual, whatever.
Yeah.
Candlestick. Okay.
Candlestick.
Not the clock. You know, cumbersome too. Is it going to ding? Ding! In the middle. You know?
Yeah.
Like Captain Hook. You know, like they're tick-tocking. Too many annoying things going on.
I don't know. I feel like I've been Pavloved with that because of like all of the hot Hook references from all of the dark romances. So I'm like,
well, he doesn't like clocks, so you shouldn't be.
No, but he flies into a rage because he doesn't like the clock sound. So then he gets hotter because when you are attracted to angry men with emotional problems. Then obviously that does it for you.
Well, then I would still say Luminaire because even though he's casual about it, he would be enraged eventually by Cogsworth ticking. So
his little like flames light up too, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes he has to like blow them out. So maybe that's like, you know,
I do love when he does that. I do. Yeah. For some reason. There's something about that. Also, we're talking about personality-wise too. Who would you rather hang out with? Luminaire. He would get a little annoying for sure because he is little Peppy the Pew adjacent, but Cogsworth would be like next level annoying. Like give it a rest, guy.
Too naggy.
We're going to the West Wing. Give it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how you're like, actually, now that I think about it, when his little hands light on fire and he blows those bad boys out, it does it for me.
It does. I don't know why. You're selling me. You're selling me.
Yeah, I love it. And maybe it's, you know, it's like it's smoking adjacent. That's the best I can come up with.
Sure.
All right. We'll leave you with that. How about that? Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thank you so much. Before you go, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you like to listen to your favorite podcasts, including YouTube, and wander on down yonder to Instagram and TikTok at Besties in the Books Podcast and give us a follow there. And we will see you guys, next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, get ready for Fridays too, because I think that's when the mini episodes go out.
Yeah.
So we'll see you then.
Bye.